Alright, welcome to another City League review video. I am here in Japan, and because of that, I am going to be looking at City Leagues. I am playing in a post-rotation world. I have not been to a local since rotation. We'll check out San Antonio maybe later if we have a little bit of time. Henry Chow took the first place, which is super cool. I'd like to look at his Gardevoir deck a little bit, but let's look at City Leagues. It's been 3 or 4 days since rotation, so we have some interesting decks being played. And I think the big story here is that everybody is playing the Noctowl engine with Lumineon and Rotom and everything else like that gone. Pretty much the main supporter is Noctowl. So we have a first place Raging Bolt here. Let's check it out. So yeah, 3-3 Hoot Hoot Noctowl line. Let's see, and you know, when you're playing that, you have to have a Terrastall down on the bench. So in this case, they're playing the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. A lot of people playing Terrapagos. You basically just need any Terra Pokemon that is a basic, so you can get it out right away. So just kind of a post-rotation Raging Bolt. Not super exciting, but it looks like this will be a contender. Let's see what else we got going on. Another Raging Bolt. Let's see what the big differences are here. So we're just using the Ogerpon as our main Terra, playing a 2-2 Noctowl. The Latias has been an addition in the deck for a while now. Pretty much all the same, using that jamming tower, which is seeing more and more play. Let's see what else we got here. It looks like Dragapult is somewhat unfazed, except for, oh wow, we have a Lily's Clefairy in the Dragapult. And so I'm guessing that, you know, if you have Psychic Energy in the deck, it sort of is an interesting attacker because we're playing in a world where people are having big benches. You know, you have the area 0, so people are putting 7-8 Pokemon on the bench. And, you know, if that's what it's going to be, then Lily's Clefairy is going to hit for quite a bit. I think if it's 8-8 on each bench, the maximum would be 320? Or I guess it's plus, is it plus 20? Yeah, so 340? Am I doing the math right there? 160, 320. Yeah, 340, I think. So that can one-shot for 2 energy any stage 2. Low HP, but I mean, it makes sense as an attacker, especially in a stage 2 deck. It's nice to have a basic attacker that can hit so high. What else are we doing here? Nothing really from the new format. Pretty standard Dragapult, but yeah, the Lily's Clefairy is probably going to see quite a bit of play. We have a Goldango Dragapult, which was, I don't know, sort of a meme deck going around, but definitely strong. Seems a little complicated. I'm not super interested in it, but you know, you're leveraging the draw engine of the Goldango. Interesting. Let's see what else, if we have anything else that's okay. So again, I'm seeing this more and more. You know, the first video I ever released was a Terrapagos Charizard video. A few months ago, this deck got like a 10th place at LAIC, and in a post-rotation world, it looks pretty strong. You know, Charizard still strong as ever, but it's missing its usual supporters, so it makes sense to go to the Noctowl, the Fan Rotom Noctowl sort of draw engine, and if that's what you're doing, then you need to have a Terrapagos or some sort of Terra Pokemon on the bench. So we're kind of using that Terrapagos style build. Let's see if we have any other, see if my local is in here. I don't see it. So we have a first place Noctowl Charizard, and where we have 2 Terrapagos. So yeah, basically a Terrapagos Charizard, using the Blood Moon Ursaluna as our cleanup attacker. Although I don't really know if this is necessary. I think the Charizard is sort of your cleanup attacker, to be honest. The way I've been playing it is you have 2 area 0s and then 1 of basically any other stadium, really, so that you can bump your own stadium, pull some of those useless guys off of your bench and then clean up the game with Charizard. Mela's seen more play because you'll probably be attaching fire energy to your Terapagos early in the game. You're going to lose it, and then you're going to want to get it back into play. So that makes a lot of sense. I like the inclusion of Jet Energy because getting trapped in this deck is a big problem. If somebody traps a Terapagos or whatever, it's nice to be able to Jet Energy in. Or if you start with a Fan Rotom or something, you can then just Jet Energy your Terapagos in. Are they playing a switch? I think a Terapagos deck would want to play a switch. They might be playing the Kieran instead. No, I don't see any switch or anything like that, but we do have Prime Catchers, so maybe relying on that in case you get trapped. Let's see, we have an Eevee deck here. Probably a Flareon. Let's see, yeah, 3 Flareon. I've seen the combination of Flareon and Jolteon, but this one's going straight up Flareon. And what are we doing here with this? Attacks used by your evolution fire Pokemon do 10 more damage. Okay, so that means that Flareon is hitting for 290? I guess that's good. What other fire Pokemon do we have here? Yeah, just Flareon's gonna hit for an extra 10, I guess. Nothing super exciting. I mean, the Gravity Mountain when you're going up against stage 2s are gonna help. Oh, I see. We're gonna Gravity Mountain down 30 and then get another 10 with this Victini. So that's going to be an extra 40, so it's going to hit 320, so it'll take out a Dragapult. Okay, interesting inclusion. Yeah, makes sense. And then we have a basic attacker here. Again, looking for those big benches because this is going to hit, it's in Japanese here, but it's going to hit similar to the Clefairy, times 20 for every benched Pokemon in play. Oh no, on your bench only, I see. Okay. But we're playing the Area 0 as well. So this attacker could come in and help sometimes. Anything else interesting? We have Interesting. We have a Blaziken Dragapult. So the Blaziken is hitting for 200, only at 2 energy. Not terrible. And our ability is we can get energy from the trash. We can attach 1 energy from the trash, so making the deck a little more energy efficient. I think Munkidori is going to see more and more play. I think Gardevoir has really solidified how powerful Munkidori is, utilizing those double monkeys in basically every version of the deck these days. Going with Unfair Stamp, still a strong card. And only playing 1 Dark to the Munkidori, so, these decks are still, you can tell these decks are kind of testing different things, and they'll kind of become more and more refined as time goes on. Let's see if we have, okay, here's a deck. Okay, Full Ends deck, and it won first place. Definitely going to be strong. So playing a 4/4 Zoroark, and probably relying on copying that Darmanitan attack, as well as this Reshiram attack. So 170 for 2 energy. I don't hate it, but it just doesn't seem crazy. I guess this top attack is a little bit better because it's giving you 20 for every damage counter on the Pokemon. So if the Zoroark tanks a big hit, like 200, then you're gonna be able to attack for, what, 400 then? So yeah, I guess that's pretty good. The Cramorant coming through as sort of a comeback card when you're down and your opponent has 3 or 4 prizes. You can hit for 120 for 1 energy, not terrible. And the Petulant, again, Petulant's going to be a good card because we can get our Dark into play. Poison it. I'm wondering if they're playing the Binding Mochi. Yep, they're playing the Binding Mochi, makes sense. And some Power Glass to make us more energy efficient. And everyone's favorite card, ends PP up. What does this exactly do again? We're taking 1 energy from the trash and putting it onto a benched Pokemon. Is that because... Okay, because the Darmanitan has to trash all of its energy when it uses this attack. So this bench attack, it does 90 to the active, 90 to the bench. Pretty nice attack. But it has to trash all that energy, so that we need to get it back. So, right, playing the Power Glass and playing the PP up makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think this deck is definitely going to be, you know, A tier at least. Interesting to see it win this early on post-rotation. And we have somebody trying a Xatu. Oh, I can't click that. What's going on? Okay, we'll skip that one for now. Oh, there we go. You know, Xatu seems like a good card, but I don't know. I've never really been a big fan. I've tried it in a Tinkaton deck, and you know, it works, but I don't know. Having a 50 basic on your bench these days is kind of a big liability. You know, people can easily take that out with, you know, double monkey, even single monkey in 2 turns. So I think these days you're going to want to have a slightly higher HP Pokemon on your bench, even as a basic like that. And, you know, if you have Drag Cloak, do you really need the extra draw engine? I don't know. So, but this deck made it work and took a first place. So, hey, it must work. We have another Ends taking 2nd place. So it looks like the Ends is pretty popular. Oh, and interesting, a Archaludon Sizer took 10th place. I mean, not a super high placing, but this deck actually, almost this exact 60, won the City League, the last City League that I played at. So it's obviously still a strong deck. I think Sizer is super underrated. I would play it with this regular Sizer, not the EX, but I've seen this inclusion in Goldango as well. If your Goldango is not working so well, putting this in as an attacker for 1 energy is pretty good. You know, there's usually a ton of ability Pokemon in play these days, so this could hit really high sometimes. Using the Black Belt's training to squeeze out a little more damage from the Archaludon, because the Archaludon's a good attacker, but 220 often falls short. So a good way to add a little more damage. I like this list, but I've noticed in my... I do actually play this deck sometimes, but I've noticed that it does kind of brick pretty easily. It doesn't have a great draw engine. You know, none of these cards are draw engines outside of the Pheasantipity, really. So you're kind of just relying on research and Iono, and that doesn't always work. When it hits, but I would prefer maybe to put a... what's the bird? Not Rockabilly. You know what I'm talking about, where you can fold your hand on the first turn and draw more. I like that in this deck because you can immediately get some energy into the discard for Archaludon. Relying on the research is, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. 4 Carmine over the 4 research. I mean, I think this 60 can be kind of tweaked and teched as the meta develops. And okay, so yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening. Oh, we have, let's check this out. We have a, well, I don't know anything about this deck. Tatsugiri trying to get into the Arven, I think, so that we can... Oh, okay, no, Tatsugiri to the Colress, to the Grand Tree, to the immediate Aegislash, preventing all damage from EX, not terrible, and only hitting for 120, maybe preying on some weaknesses. Not really sure how this deck is supposed to function. Oh, I see, we have an Aegislash EX, so we go straight into the EX, 1 energy, similar to Charizard. So as your opponent takes prizes, each prize card you have taken. So I see. So later in the game, you can hit for 210 and then 280. Okay. So end of the game, this is going to hit really hard. Interesting. What place did this get? Oh, let's go back. It got first place over in Kanagawa. So yeah, the meta has really been shaken up, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But also a lot of stuff that we've seen before. Raging Bolt's making a bit of a comeback. Charizard is still in it with the Noctowl engine. Dragapult still big. Gardevoir is gone. There was one Gardevoir that I saw at on X that won at a local that I often attend, and I don't even know what the 60 was. It was playing like a bunch of weird cards and obviously rare candy. Let's see here. We have this deck that won. So the Mamoswine took a first place with a crazy lineup of Pidgeot, Dragapult, Luxray. So yeah, it's supposed to work with the Luxray because once during your turn, you can take 1 Pokemon. Sorry, I'm reading this from the Japanese. You can take 1 Pokemon out of your deck. Oh, so you basically just take 1 Pokemon out of your deck. So if you're losing, you can pull the Luxray. And are we playing Reversal Energy? No Reversal Energy. Crispin. And no... I don't understand how this deck works then. What am I missing here? Oh, once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your hand and your opponent has any stage 2 in play... Big Air Balloon. What does this do again? This stage 2 has no retreat. Can anybody figure out how this Luxray is meant to work? Oh, I see. Okay. It's a supporter to the Mamoswine because this attack is, if you have, it's the number of stage 2s on your deck times 40 for your attack. So you can put the Luxray straight down, which is going to add another 40. That on top of maybe another Mamoswine, a Pidgeot, and a Dragapult. Let's say you have 4 on your bench. 4 times 40 is going to be 160 plus 80, 180. So that's a big attack for 2 energy. I see. So the Luxray is just there to add to this attack. And that's because we can play the Luxray straight down. But only if we have more prize cards than our opponent. So sort of playing on that comeback style, which makes sense because this is a stage 2. So you're probably going to lose 1 or 2 prize cards before you really get set up. Interesting build. Cool to see Luxray make up an appearance. Okay, so I think I'll do another recording later and talk about Henry Chow's big win in San Antonio. For now, that's City League. I'm going to do more reviews about City League. Kind of a new YouTuber here, so I'll probably get better at doing this. But yeah, thanks for having a look. And you have a big advantage if you're outside of Japan because you can see how the meta develops, and once rotation comes in the end of March, you'll already be way ahead of the game. All right, see ya.